Join us every Thursday at 5 p.m. for Likkle Byte Ideas, where we discuss how Likkle ideas are transformed into big dreams. Good afternoon, everyone. It is Wednesday, October 12th, and I'm Doreed Whitlock. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Samuel Fields Consulting Group, and I am delighted to welcome you to yet another edition of our digital show. Today is National Savings Day, and we are here to encourage everyone to become better savers, regardless where you are on your journey. If it's a habit that you're just beginning to develop and cultivate, we're here to encourage you. If you've been a lifelong saver and you need to up the ante, we're going to talk about savings, and we're also going to talk about financial information. I'd like to bring my co-host, our CEO, Megan Samuel Fields. I'd like to invite her into a virtual studio. Hey, Megan, how are you today?
Hey, Doreed, I'm fine, and good afternoon to our listeners. These weeks are rolling on by so fast.
I know. It feels like a daily show. Weren't we here yesterday?
I think we were.
Well, time flies when you're having fun.
When you're having fun, and we do have fun on this show.
We do. It's a really relaxing way to spend a Wednesday afternoon with friends and to talk about a very important topic, which is finance. It's usually a very taboo topic for a lot of people, but we try to make it as much fun as possible. Now, as I said earlier, today is National Savings Day. What are your thoughts on National Savings Day?
You know, I really wish, and I'm sorry perhaps that we didn't do more, but I really wish it's a day that we put more focus on, because it is so important to save. So many things we want to do, and if only we put aside a little bit, we could achieve our goals. So I would really love for us, perhaps in the future, to maybe collaborate with other organizations and make it really a big thing, so that we recognize the importance of saving. I mean, that's really one of the foundations of financial literacy, financial wellness, financial empowerment. So I think it's a day we really need to have more focus on.
Fantastic.
So you know what? We're going to be saving.
Yep, absolutely. Right. So listen, we actually have, if you go to our Facebook page, and I know lots of you do go to our Facebook page from time to time, we've actually posted a National Savings Day bingo. So it tells you all the things you have to check off, that are lots of habits. Because of course, savings, like any other financial task, requires two things. The mindset, you have to have the knowledge, and of course, the lifestyle changes that need to be made to facilitate that chore. So if you go to our Facebook page, you'll see it was posted last night. Wishing everyone happy National Savings Day, and download the graphic, and we'll try to get it up before the end of the show. But we encourage you to go and start looking at it, and perhaps you can begin to look at some of the tasks, check off some of the things that you do already, some of the things that you need to do, and hopefully begin to focus more on cultivating better savings habits.
Absolutely.
But enough about National Savings Day, because it's also Financial Information Month. October is celebrated in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Now, that was a mouthful. It's celebrated ECCU, and everyone has heard of ECCB. And so we have a special guest today who is going to tell us about Financial Information Month, which is organized by the ECCU. We are delighted to welcome Carol Ford Harrigan, and she is the country manager of the agency office of the ECCB in Antigua and Barbuda. Carol, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me. Hello.
Fantastic. And as you can see, she's quite young, and we were having a little chat before we came on into the broadcast about her background.
Mhm.
So for an area or a career that has taken off and she's doing really well at her young age to be the country manager, we were trying to find out, more about
Mhm.
her journey, her career journey. So Carol, we don't instead of reading your bio, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself, how you got started, what inspired you to even embark on this journey, and what your goals and aspirations are. So tell us about you. I know you went to Antigua Girls High
I
School, our
did.
alma mater,
Woohoo, woohoo.
I did.
and your mom's alma mater.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, and your grandmother's maybe.
Quite a bit of the family.
Yep,
Perhaps
yep.
all the girls.
All the girls and cousins and everything.
Mhm.
So tell us a bit. So you graduate Antigua Girls High School. Tell us what happens after that. What was in your head? What were your goals?
Okay, so I've always been interested in business and making money and having money.
Yes,
And so
it's my kind
I
of
always
girl.
gravitated to just the financial sector as a whole. My goal was actually to be in commercial banking or investment banking and be like a top manager, you know, in that sector. So after
Wow.
high school, I went to the Antigua State College, and at the time, there was it was the commercial department, but I started the year where they introduced associate degrees in that department. So I was in that inaugural group that got their first associate degrees in business at the
Oh
Antigua State
wow.
College, and
Mm.
I was the top student that
Oh
year.
Wow,
fantastic.
That was in
Wow.
nice.
2000,
Awesome.
and that was in 2006. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Mm.
afterwards, I worked for a while in one of the commercial banks because, like I said, that's where I wanted to be. I went to school and I studied. I did a bachelor's in business administration at University of Miami, and I came back ready because I had been working summers in that particular commercial bank. So I expected that once I graduated, I would be at that bank and I would just work my way up. The financial crisis hit,
Oh my
and
goodness.
investing and banking was, they really had to do a lot of consolidations at the time. But then it
Mm-hmm.
created another opportunity because then I got into debt management in the Ministry of
Wow.
Finance.
Oh wow.
So because of the crisis, I was then on the other side trying to help the banks to recover, to be in a good position. And
Yes.
I really developed a love then for public finance and working with governments to make sure that, our citizens can live comfortable lives and that we can promote economic development. And then so
Yes.
while I was in the Ministry of Finance, I had goals of working at the ECCB
Yes.
because not necessarily in this, but yes, I did have this particular position in mind, but I just wanted to be in the institution. And so I considered it to be, one of our, I guess, in terms of organizations in the Caribbean, it had some
Mm-hmm.
prestige and that sort of thing. And
Of
I wanted to be
course.
associated with that. And so while I was working with the government, I got an opportunity to be seconded in their debt management unit. And then I was providing technical advice to the government in the ECCU on debt
Awesome.
Oh
matters,
nice.
publishing debt statistics, compiling the debt statistics. And then as opportunities arose within that organization, then I took advantage of those. So then I was in the risk department, and then this
Mm.
vacancy arose, and then I think it was time for me to come home. I wanted to come home, but still be associated with the organization. And here I am. That was a mouthful,
Fantastic.
but
Wow.
here I am.
What a great story. What a great success story.
Awesome. Awesome. Ah.
Great. So she is she is the lady boss at the ECCB, and we are, here at SFCG, and of course on Likkle Byte Ideas. A large part of what we do is financial literacy.
Right.
We try to find very interesting ways to impart the knowledge. We believe it's key that people have the knowledge, and of course, they make the lifestyle changes to
Yes.
achieve their financial goals.
Mhm.
So once we heard about, well, of course, Megan knew about it. That's her area. I'm not a financial person. I'm more of a
Yeah,
marketer.
Megan is one of our partners.
Good,
Woohoo.
good. So, but when I heard about Financial Information Month, I said, wow, that's probably something that's, in line with what we try to do.
Absolutely.
So let's see how we
Definitely.
can partner. So tell us a bit about Financial Information Month, the genesis of it. What are your
Right.
goals? What are you trying to
Okay.
accomplish here?
Right. So Financial Information Month, dubbed Film Festival by the governor of the central bank this year, it is an initiative started through the central bank as having a coordinating role. And it is a regional financial, economic, business, and entrepreneurial education campaign.
Oh, that's
So
a
within
mouthful.
all of the territory, yes, it is. But in other words, it is just to ensure that we can have financial and economic education for the public. And
Which
so
is so
as an
needed.
organization, it started in it's about 20 years old, this initiative.
Oh wow.
Yes,
Okay.
it's been, yeah, since about 2002. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, because like I said, we do have the satellite offices as an agency office, they're located in all of the member territories of the ECCU.
And tell
So
us
in
what the
all of
member
the
territories are so people can be
So
sure.
for persons who do not know, and I have my
Yes.
money here with me,
Oh
you look
wow.
on all of the islands that utilize the EC currency are the member countries of the
Okay.
ECCU. So
Fantastic.
we have Anguilla, obviously Antigua and Barbuda, Montserrat, Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, St. Lucia, and of course St. Kitts and Nevis. So all of the islands that use the EC dollar are part of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. And so throughout the month of October every year, we dedicate it specifically to partnering with educational institutions, financial institutions, grassroots organizations, private sector individuals, member governments to come together to just educate the public on financial and economic matters. And so we know that
Fantastic.
generally throughout the year, maybe each bank or each, like you guys have your shows running throughout the year, we know that individually a lot of institutions might do their own educational campaigns, but in October we kind of try to put that individuality aside and try to come together and just have the focus on the public and giving them all of the information that to help them be financially literate and to make
Right.
the best decisions, and then they can go to those different organizations once they have the information and make the decisions that are best for them. So the theme essentially for Financial Information Month is financial empowerment through education, and that's all that it is.
Financial empowerment
Empowerment
through
through
education.
education. So if you have the tools to make the right decisions, then you can be financially empowered. But you have to have that knowledge. You have to know what exists, what tools are out there, who are your resource persons, so that you can make those decisions, because I think that is important for being financially literate.
Well, I want to make that's very cool. And I want to make a suggestion to your committee.
Sure.
Financial education empowerment through education spells FET.
Does it?
Absolutely.
Spells FET. So,
So instead
next
of a
time
So I
around.
think you have the. Oh yeah, you're right. FET. So we need to have a FET. That's probably why
Yes.
the governor dubbed it Film
Film
Festival.
Yes.
It's a
festival.
Yes. So
Yes.
next time
Feel
around,
fed.
you guys say FET, and I'm sure you'll get a much more resounding response, especially from the young people.
So what
Absolutely.
Yep.
happens though is that we try to tailor based on the month, then coming back to each island, you try to tailor it based on, I guess the landscape, what's going on, but it's dependent on our partners. So that's why we
Mhm.
reach out to a lot of persons in the sector, media practitioners, just to be involved in
Mhm.
the whole process of planning something within the country that we think would resonate with the public. So we
Fantastic.
play a coordinating role. It's not an
Uh-huh.
ECCB thing, but it's just
Yes.
trying to coordinate all the different stakeholders and utilizing, some of our resources and, our office to provide that sort of coordinating support.
So you're the
So you're
industry leader.
Yeah, contributor to it.
so
Okay.
you're nearly halfway through the month.
Right.
Can you tell us how the activities have been?
Right.
What's the response? What's the feedback you've
I
been
think that
receiving?
this year, so I only assumed this position in January. So this is my first time actually leading the course of film. Before I was just a participant. And
Right.
so, I've been trying to, create my own network, get some people on board. So we're taking small steps. So far, we have had a very good response from some of our commercial banks, private individuals or like yourselves, the credit unions, a few insurance companies. And so some of the activities include interviews on the radio, publishing financial tips on various social media platforms, schools outreach. The First Caribbean and ACB visited some schools last week and this week, Clear Hall Secondary School and the Antigua Grammar School. We have our famed t-shirts, so we have T-shirt Friday.
Oh, nice.
Yes, we have. So we anticipate having some articles published in the newspaper. There's a jingle that we hope to get out.
Oh, nice.
And so that forms the basis of our activities. We're also supporting the Walk for Cure on Saturday with First Caribbean. And then the following Saturday is International Credit Union Day. And we're supporting the Community First Credit Union with their International Credit Union Day hike. So it's a little bit of a good variety of activities, and I think that it has been going very well so far.
That's wonderful.
Awesome.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
So who are you targeting? Who does Financial Information Month, who is your target? Is it individuals? Is it small businesses? Is it large corporations, government agencies? Who is your primary target in this
What
campaign?
happens is that what we try to do, we target the general public. However, based on the specific activities that we may have, it may be catered to a specific subset of that larger population. So like I mentioned, we have the schools outreach programs, so schools outreach sessions. So we try to get into the secondary schools, the primary schools, and maybe some tertiary. So you'll have to tailor the content accordingly. When we do the financial tips, we try to make it broad-based enough that everybody can get a little nugget of information. And so, and then in the past, we've had like business symposia, we've had different activities. So every year, the type of activities change. And according to the activity, we try to tailor the messaging, according to, the target audience that maybe a particular partner might be more comfortable with. So we're not trying to exclude anything, like we mentioned, that it is across the ECCU trying to get all of our citizenry involved in financial information.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we will take a break at this point. Well, we want to, Mika, let me check. Do we have any questions, comments?
We just have some high fives from Abby McCoy and Carolyn McCoy.
Oh, she brought her crew, huh?
Yes.
Good. She brought her crew.
Before we take a break, I want to mention that Carol came with some goodies. She has some prizes.
She has some prizes. So we're going to give away 2 prizes today. We're going to give away one now because we want you to stay for the rest of the show. So you have one chance now to win. And then at the end of the show, towards the end, we'll give away the second prize. So Carol, before we get to the question, tell us why financial information is important. What's the big deal?
I think that for me personally, having financial information is important in terms of making decisions, in terms of securing the type of lifestyle that you want, in terms of being able to help you achieve the goals that you want in life. It's very important for you to understand what resources are available to you, to understand the maybe the type of documentation that you may need, the type of requirements in order for you, like I said, to just live and not even to just have a comfortable life, I think. And so that's what I look at it as, and that is why from a very young age for me, it's just a matter of just understanding the financial tools that exist for me so that I can have the things that I would like to have in life.
I love that. It's so important because if you think about it, financial information is really at the core of just about everything that we
you need to do in life. Absolutely.
So it's really important that we ensure we get as much information as we can from a financial basis, but not just getting the information, knowing how to use it.
Right. That's important. Yes.
And I think our culture we just hate paperwork. I didn't realize that about myself until very
How tedious it is, right?
well. I think it's tedious, yes, but I think our culture doesn't prepare. At least my generation didn't prepare us
Mm.
for paperwork. When did you ever have to fill out extensive paperwork? Maybe a passport, some kind of application, maybe for college or something. And even in our day, people didn't fill out their passport forms themselves. You went to a lawyer. Can you remember those days, Megan?
Mm-hmm.
You went to a lawyer to help you fill out the forms. So I suffered. My children, of course, come from a different generation. Paperwork means nothing to them. I recognized that about myself about maybe 5 to 7 years ago when I realized that when it comes to filling out paperwork, I sit on it. I find every excuse not to do it. Even if it's financial information, filing your taxes, it's just something that weighs me down. And I think it has to do with how we were raised. We really never had any exposure
And I
to
think
financial
also,
information. Yep, go ahead.
no, I was going to say to your point, I think also too, because of how the world has changed, you
Mm-hmm.
have to give a little bit more information because I
Yes,
think maybe before things like identity theft and fraud,
you're so
those
right.
things
Did not
weren't,
exist. Yeah.
and you weren't that globalized. So somebody knew, okay, I know your father, your mother, okay, no
Yes,
problem. Here's this
exactly.
loan.
That's what
Exactly.
I
Yes,
was going
now,
to
who
say.
are you? I need to know who you are. We need all of the information on
Yep.
you.
Yes,
Another thing that
absolutely.
I thought about too, we often brag about the world being a global village. Well, how does the global village operate with information? That's the
Mhm.
only thing that allows us. What will allow people across the globe to be able to connect, transact business, communicate, run a business together? It's because the information is can be shared
And readily
And
available
and
too.
exactly almost instantaneously.
Yes.
So it's definitely a good thing, but again, like I said, I think my generation just did not prepare us for information exchange and filling out forms and even understanding terminology because like you said, business was done differently. And it was, you always had somebody to turn to. And then
Mhm.
again, your banker, your lawyer, people like that, even your doctor filled out the forms for you now. Whereas now you go to a doctor and they're handing you the forms. You have to fill out all this information before you even get to see the doctor. Whereas in
right.
our day, they would sit down and actually fill it out, question you at the table. So
But
there's
I
more of
think
an
too, even in our even now, you still do hear people calling for these sort of practical classes, even in high
Mhm.
school, just to prepare you for life period. I mean, even something like knowing if you want to have a mortgage at some point in time, it's better to get your life insurance at an early age because the premiums
Yep.
are low. Or
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
when you start
Mm-hmm.
working, it's important maybe to contribute to a retirement fund or you
Mm-hmm.
signing up for social security and getting your medical. I feel like in a different way, there's still that need for
Oh, big
Yes.
persons to
time.
have a
Oh, for
better
sure.
understanding of
Big time.
some basic things because a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people make poor financial decisions because maybe they don't have that foundation.
I fully
Absolutely.
agree with you. Fully agree with you.
Absolutely.
And we see it all the time where, persons would come in in having a discussion with them, you realize they might have their big plans, but when you go and try to get at the core of it, they don't fully understand
Some of the
about life
basics.
insurance. They
Right.
don't
Yeah.
understand about getting a loan.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember some time ago, I had to tell my son, remember when you were in school and you had to learn simple interest and compound interest? That's what this whole mortgage thing, it's the whole compound interest story. And
Yes.
I think that's the other thing too. So you learn things like that in math, but
But you don't
how do
understand the
you apply it?
practical,
Application
yeah, the
of it.
Yeah,
applications for
how
it.
do you
Yeah.
apply it? So I
Yeah.
think there's
Right.
a lot more that we can do. And I really want to see us take financial literacy to another level here in Antigua,
Yes.
where everybody understands financial literacy, understands the need for it, and know that everybody knows how to apply it. Because
Yes.
it's
Right.
not, we're not talking textbook here. We're talking
Mhm.
about practical.
Yes.
And one of the ways that we as the ECCB tries to meet that need as well too is that even outside of Financial Information Month, outside of the core functions of what the central bank does, we do have community outreach and public education courses and programs to help the public. So we've had savings and investment courses that we might advertise from time to time that people can sign up for. We've had small business management workshops, and these are done locally. So the agency office coordinates these things. We've had entrepreneurship workshops, micro business workshops, and then for
Nice.
even the younger persons, and we do have a mentorship school, which is the Tian Kernan Primary School, and we do go into grades 4, 5, and 6.
Oh, that's
and
wonderful.
do like some little financial tips for their level. And then we expanded that program, and we do have a radio show, which is the ECCB Children's Connection radio show that we haven't restarted again, but we are hoping to begin soon on the last Saturday of every month. And so that is another way of just trying to bridge that gap a little bit in terms of bringing some basic financial tips to a different cross section of persons, or helping them with entrepreneurship or their business, etc.
Fantastic. Well, I see that we have some messages.
Yes. So we have Daniel McCoy.
Hi, Danielle.
She says, I agree. I would have benefited so much to know these practical things in high school. So true. And she also says, excuse me, understanding of the application. Yes, which is what we were saying. It's more than just learning it. It's how you apply it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Doreen, what about this prize?
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay,
prize
so
number one.
Yes, I have a general knowledge question. Nothing too difficult. You have to be in Antigua to be able to claim these prizes. That's the caveat, okay?
Okay.
On the EC $50 bill, apart from the Queen, whose image appears on the $50 bill? So the first
will be the first, right?
The first person to respond will be the winner. Correctly, will be the winner.
Is it?
Going for the $50 bill now, boy.
I'm telling you.
I'm trying to rack their brains. And this is the new $50 bill, the new notes that we have introduced.
I think even I know that.
Okay.
You sure? Because they've changed, you know.
I remember reading an article.
Okay. So the question again is, apart from Queen Elizabeth, whose image appears on the new EC $50 bill?
And I have a question. Are we going to change to Prince Charles's image?
There are no plans to do that immediately.
Okay. I thought about that. Yeah.
All right, we have some answers. Okay, they're rolling in. So
okay,
so
Carol,
person,
go ahead.
The first person who responded is Kara Maximin,
yeah.
And her answer is Dwight Venner.
And is Kara located in Antigua?
Yes, she is.
Winner, winner, winner.
All right.
Awesome.
Well done.
So what did she get? $50?
Yes.
She gets something a little bit more than that.
Oh, wow.
So the answer is Sir K. Dwight Venner.
And you're going to hold up for the whole thing.
Now, did anybody else get the right answer?
Everybody else did. So
good job. I'm actually surprised at people. Wonderful.
Ford says Dwight Venner. Then,
and for those who don't know, Sir K. Dwight Venner was the former governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. He was the governor just before the governor now, which is Mr. Timothy Antoine.
Yes.
All I remember, the guy with the fro.
Yes, the guy with the fro.
Everybody has said Sir Dwight Venner.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm happy that everybody knows that.
Yes. Okay, so you know they're running for their $100 bill now, thinking we're gonna be coming to $100.
Oh, no.
No,
Put
no,
your
no.
put your
Throw a little
$100
curve
bills
there.
back in. Put your $100 bills back in your wallets. That will not be the second question, but you have to stick around to vie for the second prize.
Okay,
But
so for Cara, she could just send you her contact details. Megan, maybe DM
Yes.
or send you a private message,
We know
and we will
her.
contact you from the agency office.
Yes.
Okay.
So
fantastic.
congratulations, Kara.
Congrats.
Yay! That's great. So, Carol, tell us a bit more about the ECCB. Most
Okay.
people hear about this place.
And a lot of people don't know. I will tell you a funny story. Since I've been here, the amount of people that call here, and when you answer the phone, hello, this is the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. How can I help you? I wanted to find out about the savings account or your loan, thinking that it's ECAB.
Oh
and so
my.
there are many times that I have to correct
wow.
people, say, no, this is the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. I think you're trying to get to the Eastern Caribbean
Right.
Amalgamated Bank, ECAB.
Oh wow.
And so the conversation then goes from there. But yeah, so the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank has its headquarters in St. Kitts. And essentially, like I mentioned, all of the countries that utilize the EC, their governments are shareholder governments of this institution. And the purpose of the central bank is to regulate and make money and credit available. So we have to make sure that the banks have money for you when you want to go into the bank, and to make sure that, you know, the currency is available. We also ensure that we promote and maintain monetary stability. So we regulate the commercial banks and other licensed financial institutions. So we kind of supervise and regulate and make sure that they are operating up to standard.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also the government's banker to an extent. And so we where there's a need for sometimes even emergency credit, sometimes they can we are the government's banker essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And we also provide technical support and advice to our member governments. And so within each of the islands, we have what we call the agency office. And the agency office is just a physical representation of our headquarters. And so we support the work of the of headquarters, all of the different departments, and we do community outreach, public education, and we're just the representative on the ground. And so there's an agency office, we're skeleton office. There's an agency office in each of the member territories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like that you said ECCB. It works. I don't know if works is the right word, but it helps to maintain stability of our currency. Mm-hmm. And not often, I don't think we think about it very often. We just go about our day. But really, when you stop and think about it, just the other day, the pound, it dipped quite low.
Yes.
And for years, we have been pegged to the US dollar, and it has remained that way for lots of years. So
and that's one of the strengths of our particular our currency, and that is because of the work of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank to maintain that peg, to ensure that we have adequate reserves and that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
And you know, we have all of these different departments and headquarters that, you know, ensure that, you know, we're managing the currency well, and that we're just protecting the financial interest of, you know, citizens in the ECCU.
Thank you, ECCB.
On behalf of them, you're welcome.
Well, I think this would be a great time to give away our second prize. Do we have any questions before we get to that, Megan?
No, but I just saw someone say, hi, ladies, and I haven't spoken to this person in years. Marilyn Rodriguez. Hi, Marilyn.
Oh, wow.
My gosh.
Yeah, I saw her.
It's been years.
I saw her maybe 2 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen her since my ACB days. Oh,
wow.
My gosh. So no other questions. So we can probably go into the next.
Yeah, let's do the next giveaway.
Okay, so the next question I have is should we name the islands of the ECCU? Let's give the number of islands that make up the ECCU, and let's get the names of those islands.
Okay,
That's a
so
two-part
it's going to
question.
take, right. So it's going to, the people who can type fast will probably have an advantage. Yeah.
So remember, it's not just the number, it's the
It's the
Yes.
actual,
the
yes.
actual.
We want proper names.
And so,
Is it-
and just as a little hint, you can any
No
country
hint.
that's like a
hint.
double, you can count it as one.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Well, yes, but you have to,
They
we
are
want to
one.
see all two. You can't
Yeah.
give us one and not the other.
Exactly.
Let's just
Right.
put it
Okay.
that way.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so while they are thinking and coming up with the countries,
Well, you know what? That's so easy. All they have to do is look at the dollar and type.
why are you telling them?
Why are you
Why
helping them with
Sorry.
that?
Come on,
I'm sorry.
come on. Let them
Well,
go back to
Just
that
in case
$50
they forgot
whatever.
that.
Exactly.
Well, we have only smart people come to our show. Come on now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Savvy people come to our show. But
So
the-
while we are waiting on them, I know, Carol, when we spoke with you earlier, I was so impressed and blown away with what you were telling us about you having plans and goals and everything. Well, you write down your plans. Would you like to just tell us a bit more about that? Because I was quite excited to hear that.
Yeah.
I think I've just always been an avid note taker, and I think I just write notes for everything. So
Hold that thought. My theory is, and I've always had it, firstborns have intense personalities.
Interesting.
A lot
Okay.
of them tend to be very, they're
Very-
either very focused. They, think about firstborn.
right.
Yeah, let's hear Carol.
I don't know if it is innate or it is just learned behavior, but yeah, just always writing and taking notes and planning things. I think I'm just a planner and an organizer. So even in my life, the things that I have wanted, the things, whether it was financially related or just in general, the things that I wanted, I've always written down, the goals, my 5-year goals, my short-term goals, longer, and then just try. And I love ticking off.
Wow.
And
I
that
know
was that. Whether it was this job, whether it was, trying to get to school, whether it was owning a home, I've always just written down my goals. And I saw that also translate into a financial standpoint where I've always written down my financial goals. And in terms of even my personal financial planning, that's always the first step, writing down the things that I
Wow.
want and by, the time frame that I want to get it at. So
Yeah, awesome. And
Yeah.
that is a good tip.
yeah.
Definitely.
For persons
For sure.
who have great plans and want to achieve great things, just start by writing it down.
Yeah.
But
Write
add
it
it to,
down.
and then it continues though, because I mean, if we segue even into just from a financial literacy standpoint and just sharing things that have worked for me, when you write down your goals, it just sorts of put in your mind a plan. And sometimes even if you've forgotten about it, the fact that you've written it down, you kind of subconsciously work towards achieving those goals. And so for me, it's like when things maybe came across the way or opportunities or things that may not have put me in that direction, because you can get distracted easily, but by writing it down, you kind of stick to the script and you can just zone in on the things that you want. And so I've been very deliberate about the opportunities that I've taken up in relation to my goals, and then so back to what I was saying in terms of your financial goals. After you write down your goals, you have to determine how you're going to accomplish those goals.
Yes.
So are you going to save? Are you going to borrow? Or are you going to beg?
Or are you going to
That's
do all three?
Or to all three. Right. So when you know what your goal is, and you also have to find out, okay, how much does this cost? And then you put the appropriate plan. So maybe sometimes you might have to take a loan. Maybe you can save up to meet certain requirements. And when I say beg, maybe you have grants and scholarships. That's what I refer to as begging, asking someone to assist you, that sort of thing, maybe for like a fraction of the price that maybe the commercial banks or whatever would give to you. And then for me, it was then doing your research on for each of those things. How long is it going to take me to save? What do I need to get the loan? What are my educational requirements to get a scholarship? You know? Yeah.
Perhaps
And
shop
then
around,
shop,
shop
and
around
yes,
to
and that's
see.
part of the research,
Yep.
seeing the different options that exist, knowing that, okay, if I want to have a mortgage by age 30, if I'm working now and I'm 21, I have to have life insurance. And if I start younger, my premium is going to be less. So that's all part of knowing what you want and doing the
Yes.
research to align with what it is that you want. So,
Yeah.
That's great.
yeah.
So before we
Okay.
go to the answers,
Uh-huh.
I want to just show a comment. I had a little chuckle. This came from Carolyn McCoy, and she says, I wonder who that writing down came from and ticking off. Good habit.
Definitely. I think it goes back also to the grandparents and,
I
some
think
of
so.
the things that they instill in you, and then it trickles down to your parents. I think so. I guess so. Like I said, whether it's innate or learned, sometimes you don't realize that based on your surroundings, you just pick up certain habits. And even
Mhm.
saving is a habit. I remember my grandmother saying, don't spend off everything that you earn. Always save for a rainy day. Eat little, live
Mhm.
long. Those kind of little sayings, but it's true.
Mhm.
You don't have to
Oh, yeah.
buy everything, or some things you can do for yourself just to save a little bit of money. So I guess it's in the back of your head, and then you live it out.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. And your grandmother, I do remember,
Oh, she
she
was
knew how
lovely.
to, lovely, but she knew how to save. And when I say save, I'm not talking about money. If you are doing, like when we were at school and we had to do homework, and you probably maybe sandwiches, you're gonna have to save the ends to make bread and butter
Bread
pudding.
pudding, don't waste. No, limit the
Yeah.
wastage.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
All right,
indeed.
so we have lots of persons responding. All right, let's see.
Who was the
Let's start from
first?
the top.
I guess we're
Well,
gonna have to go by the time.
yes. So we have Colin Harrigan.
Okay.
Colin says 8. Let's see if he's correct. And then he says, I think we said we were going to get the full names, but he has ANU, AXA, SK, Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Montserrat, Barbuda,
Oh, yeah,
Dominica.
fabulous separate.
So I would say no to Colin
No, and
because
he's also eliminated because he's very close to home. That's my husband.
Oh my
So he's
goodness,
not
that is
eligible.
hilarious.
And
Oh my
he
goodness.
should know all of the names better than that.
Oh,
So
funny because
oh my,
I know a Colin Harrigan, not your husband, so I thought it was him.
oh.
that is
All right, so
funny.
definitely disqualified, Colin. So you know what? I'm not even going to read Kara because you want a prize. We're not going to
Yes.
give the same person
Yes,
two.
yes,
So
yes.
we're going to move on. Roberta Williams, she says 8 countries: Montserrat, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia.
Okay.
Sounds like we have a winner.
Sounds like we have a winner. Well done.
Okay, winner, winner,
Well
winner.
done. Well done.
Congrats, Roberta Williams. Awesome. We have, well, there's several others who responded, but we're giving the first person.
So
who
let's just
gave all the
acknowledge. Let's just
corrections.
acknowledge them.
Okay. So, and thank you so much for participating. We have Janice. Hey, Janice. Janice, I think she would have gotten them all.
But she didn't say how many.
Oh, she didn't say
It was
how
a
many.
two-part
Right.
question.
Yes.
Then we have Kathleen Ford, but I have a feeling we're gonna have to disqualify her anyway.
By her
We have
association.
our winner already, so it's
We
fine.
have our winner, yes.
But thank you for responding.
Absolutely. Simone Benjamin, thank you for responding. I think you were correct as well. Thank you so much.
Correct.
We have Marilyn who responded. Thank you so much, Marilyn. And okay, Colin is laughing. Oh, Colin says the first person, that's not her husband. So are there 2 Colin Harrigans on? That's interesting. That's interesting.
Not
Because
sure.
I do know a Colin Harrigan. But
I know
anyway.
there are actually two other Colin Harrigans that I know of in Antigua.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Somebody get in trouble. All right, we do have some comments. We have a comment from Wanda Verso. She says, concepts may seem foreign if there are no practical applications.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited that financial ideas have a platform. Thanks, Likkle Byte. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying our best to democratize financial literacy, trying to get the word out there so people can make the right decisions and make their lives better.
Absolutely.
And aim for financial wellness. Let's see. All the others are actually responses. Yes. So that's what we have. Yes.
Okay,
so
great.
congratulations,
Well
Yes.
done,
Sarah
everybody.
and Roberta. So I know these two persons, so I will contact them and get whatever details you need, Carol, or have them contact the agency office.
Okay.
And yes.
Yeah, you can share. You could either way. You could share their contact information or our.
I'll do
number,
both,
and that's
actually.
fine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll do both.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Well, listen, we always end the show with a Likkle idea. And as we often say, if I have an idea,
and you have an idea,
that's great. We both have our individual ideas, but when we bring these ideas together, that's when the eureka moments can happen and we can blow out these ideas into something even bigger.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's National Savings Day. For those of you listening to us, we'd love if you dropped any ideas you have, any tips that you have about savings, and we'll read a couple of them. But Carol, you're misorganized, Miss Strategy,
Miss Planner,
Miss Got It Together.
Yeah.
Tell us, give us some advice or give us an idea that centers on savings and money management.
Okay, so one of the things that I have always done since I was a very little girl is no matter how much money I earn or is given to me or I make, however it comes, I always save at least 10% of that money. And another thing that I do is that I put it in an account that I do not have a debit card for. So I have one account that I would pay my bills from or just live on, but 10% of whatever I make goes into an account, and it's for me to invest in or just to have to save for a rainy day. But I resist the urge of being able to just access it quickly by not having a debit card or a credit card or anything associated with it. And so sometimes the thought of having to go and stand in line to get the money is a deterrent in and of itself.
I love it.
That's my
That's
Likkle Byte.
Fantastic.
That is
great. Thanks so much
idea.
for that financial bite. Yep. Do we have any comments we want to share, Megan?
Yes.
Okay.
Joanna. Hey, Joanna. Joanna says, always pay yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And for those of us who are self-employed, yes, do that.
Very
because
important.
if not, you'll be on the
Left out.
line.
Yes, exactly.
Another tip from D. Giselle Isaac. First time bring home.
Being, I guess you meant
being. Oh, first time being home by the time I could join live. Nice work, good stuff. Educational and animated. Congrats to the presenter. Oh, thank you, D. Giselle.
Thank you.
Join us again.
Yes, definitely come back.
Absolutely. Great. That's what we have. Any more
Likkle ideas? We'd love to hear what your thoughts are and what's working for you.
So Marilyn is asking, how often do we have these lives? We have this show every Wednesday at 5.
At 5,
Marilyn.
Yep.
So you can go to our YouTube page where you can see our previous episodes, and you can also subscribe. So you will get the notifications.
Definitely. We encourage everyone to like us on Facebook and also subscribe. This way, whenever we upload a new episode or we go live, you get a notification. So definitely take a moment and like us on Facebook, Samuel Fields Consulting. Also like us on YouTube, Samuel Fields Consulting. And definitely we'd love to see you every Wednesday here at 5. We talk about a bunch of things related to finance. Our goal is to make finance less daunting. I know it was for me. You know, I worked in financial services from a marketing side, but I never got into it because it just was not for me. But this has been a journey for me as well, and I'm sure for a lot of you, we can definitely provide some support to get you on a better financial track.
Absolutely. We have another tip here from Carolyn McCoy. It's an old saying: "Eat little, live long." You can apply it financially. That's true too.
Absolutely.
So spend little, you have more for later.
There you go. There you go.
Oh,
So,
awesome.
Carol, tell us before we sign off today. We have listeners on. People, everyone wants to learn more about how they can improve their financial literacy. What else do you have on the agenda with the ECCB that we can take advantage of for the rest of the month?
Okay, so for the rest of the month, the general public can tune in to I think on Observer Radio and ABS. We should be playing some financial tips at around lunchtime. So you can look out for your daily financial tips, and on Nice FM as well. I forgot Nice FM. And these are all our partners in terms of FIM. Some of our commercial banks and credit unions, and even some of the insurance agencies may be publishing some tips on their social media pages. There is an ECCU Financial Information Month Facebook page, and so you can get a sense of what the other islands across the ECCU have been doing, and every day there's almost like a weekly roundup and an idea of what's to come for the next week. We hope to go into some of the schools for the remainder of the month and look out for some articles in the Daily Observer teaching you about wealth creation, because that's another aspect of, just being financially literate, how to create wealth for yourself. And I think that may be it. As I said earlier in the show, we're supporting the CIBC First Caribbean Walk for the Cure this Saturday, and then next week Saturday the credit unions celebrate International Credit Union Day, and so the Community First Cooperative Credit Union has their Customer Appreciation Day next week Thursday, and on the Saturday they have their International Credit Union Day hike.
Okay, fantastic. And I believe next week is International Credit Union Week, correct?
I believe yes, they are celebrating throughout the week. So we did have for other activities that they may have. So we also have the St. John's Cooperative Credit Union that may have some activities. Look out for a little bit more on that. I'm not sure about the specific activities just as yet, but they are celebrating next week.
Yes.
And even beyond Financial Information Month, all of our between this platform, other partners within Antigua, just look out for different tidbits of information. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, ECCB, like I said, every so often we have different webinars, different fora, we have different workshops that we may publicize from time to time, and just take advantage of these opportunities just to improve your financial knowledge and, just being in a better place to just manage your personal wealth.
Absolutely. Awesome. And so even on our Facebook page, Samuel Fields Consulting Group, we have been putting tips on every day.
Correct.
Of course, today's National Savings Day. Again, go to our Facebook page. We have what's called National Savings Bingo. So you can go on. There's some recommended tasks that you can do to save money, starting a backyard garden, collecting change, having a change jar, different mantras and a host of things. And it's on a bingo board. So what we recommend is that you go on, and the kind of things that you have already started, we recommend that you check those off. For the things that you aspire to do, maybe give that another check mark. It's a good way May not be as extensive a plan as Miss Carol would do, but here is a little guide.
It's a start.
It's a start. It's a
It's
start.
a start.
So go to our Facebook page, download it, and definitely, have some fun and look at some of the things that you may want to start looking at to begin cultivating better savings habits. So it's been another great show. And Megan, tell us what we can expect next week. Next week is the 19th, I believe. International Credit Union Day is the 20th.
Yeah, the 20th or the 22nd. I think it's the 22nd.
22nd? Okay.
I think so, but stand corrected.
Okay, so just before I go into what's happening next week, there have been some more comments.
Okay, sure. We love the comments.
Absolutely. So Janice Hodge, hi Janice. She says, invest in land. That is important.
Absolutely.
Young people, get a piece of the rock. Florence Harrigan says, excellent presentation, very educational and informative. Is that family, Carol?
Yes, like that's Colin's mom. That's my mother-in-law. Thank you for listening.
Janice Davis Asidu says, it's better to know here it is than to ask where it is.
For sure.
Save your money so you will have it in hand than to try and figure out where to get funds in case of an emergency. My grandma, she always had money on hand.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Thanks, Janice. Giselle says,
thank you, Giselle.
I'm so happy I was able to tune in. Great stuff. Congrats, Karen, and well done. Hi, Dee. What about hi, M?
Okay, don't hate.
Daniel says, thank you all. This was very informative. Well done, Carol.
Thank you.
And congratulations, Danielle. I heard your interview the other day. You're doing great stuff.
Great for stuff, sure.
Danielle.
Yeah, congratulations.
And Carolyn
McCoy
amen,
says, amen.
Amen, amen.
Oh, that's the name of it. Right. I like that. Amen, I did hear that. I love it.
Carolyn McCoy says, good presentation, good job. Roberta Williams says, enjoyable session, thanks. Proud of Carol, very informative. And Danielle says, thank you. All right.
Fantastic.
Oh, this is awesome.
This was a great show. Megan,
it
tell us more
It
about...
went by so fast.
It did, right? It did. It really does. Megan, tell us about next week's show.
So next week, it's Credit Union Week, and we want to focus on the credit unions. As you know, we have several in Antigua, but we wanted to take like a regional approach. So we're going to have at least one person from Dominica. I believe you're going to have one from Antigua. Yes, we're going to have one from Antigua. I haven't gotten the final, but I'm pretty sure we'll get that. Perhaps one from Grenada. So we're going to be talking about credit unions, talking about their genesis, their role in our communities, and challenges they face, opportunities they might see on the horizon,
right?
And how persons can get involved in being a member. So it's going to be interesting. So I invite all of you to come on out, invite a friend, and let's learn about the credit unions.
And I hope they bring some prizes.
I so like this the prizes. I'm gonna be telling them, hey, bring a prize.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Carol. That added some spice.
Definitely. No, our guests are gonna have to bring some prizes.
I'm sorry for the future guests.
Yep. Even if it's something small, everybody likes to win. So we definitely need some prizes.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well, listen, we want to thank everyone for joining us. It's been an amazing discussion about finance in general, and of course, National Savings Day and the merits of saving and why we all need to develop better savings habits. We want to thank our nephew, Nicholas, in the background, who does our technical stuff in the back. There's no way we could do it without technical support. Our other technical person, Alia, she is not on today, but she also supports us. And for those of you who are first timers, we invite you back. We always have a great chat here on Likkle Byte Ideas. If you miss it, because we know people are busy, it's on our YouTube channel, so you can always catch up, revisit an old episode, or if you miss one, we invite you to go to our YouTube channel, subscribe. Also our Facebook page, like us, so you can be in the know. So we're going to sign out, and we want to thank all of you. Continue to have a great week. We'll see you back next week at 5 p.m. for another edition of Likkle Byte Ideas. Carol, nice to see you again. All grown
Thank
up.
you so much for having me. It was good.
You're an amazing
Thank you so much, Carol. Really appreciate
and
it.
best of luck with the rest of your campaign throughout the month of October. I think it's a very important initiative. So best of luck to you and your team.
Thank you so much.
Great.
So take care, everyone. See you
Take
next
care, everyone.
week.
Have a great, enjoy the rest of your week. Happy hump day.
Bye.